Now boarding for Rebuild of JoyCast, your weekly destination for anime, manga, and more.
Hello everyone, and welcome to JoyCast. I am hitching a ride on the train this week.
Yeah, we picked up a vagabond. Pretty sick.
Doing some sightseeing.
I don't like it. I don't trust
I always imagined we were like on some kind of tram or some bullet train, so it's like, I never thought we would have a vagabond in here. Like, she literally has like the 1920s stick and handkerchief little back satchel there. It was pretty cute. We had to pick her up.
She's got like a katana. She looks kind of like
Yeah, she uses, instead of a stick, she uses a katana, but also has the handkerchief with her cheese that she carries with her.
My cheese and my
She's got that one breast tied down with like bandages. Clearly a battle-hardened warrior.
Clearly battle-hardened.
Hell yeah.
Almost, like, basically threatened to slice the train in half. That's why we let her in. So, yeah, I got my favorite peeps in here this week. So, this is just going to be a hangout week. We're going to react to some news that by the time this episode releases, we're recording in the middle of our vacation right now. So, this is like 2 weeks in the past. So, a lot of this news is going to be out of date, but it is very much worth reacting to. Besides that, Steena's going to bring her thoughts on My Hero Vigilantes. She's catching up on that, as well as One Piece. We're going to update for her on that as well. And then in between then, we're going to talk about the brand new manga Ruri Dragon, this week's My Hero Academia 356, so that'll really date us, as well as One Piece 1053. So, let's start with the news, and unfortunately, we need to begin on a bummer, folks. As the time that we are recording this, Billy Kametz has just passed away. We knew this was coming. We're not here to speculate as to why this happened so quickly. He announced a month ago that he was suffering from stage 4 colorectal cancer. And
was it only a month ago?
It was only a month ago, and that's where I go, wow, how fast between point A and point B? That was fast.
Wow.
And I don't want to talk about the details that I know. I don't want to speculate to why that happened so quickly, but it happened very quickly after he announced that, and he is now gone. And those who don't know who Billy Kametz is, he's kind of in our age group. He's just the generation ahead of us for voice acting. Billy is Naofumi in Rising of the Shield Hero. I thought...
Best boy Ferdinand.
Best boy Ferdinand. That's how me and Val love him most as. So yeah, but basically, like, we knew it was coming because Matt Mercer was the first to spill. He didn't say in detail, but we're like, Matt, you know Billy, so we know this is we know the news is coming.
Well, there's no speculation to be had. Like, people are talking about it was such a quick, a quick announcement to the
but this was like 2 days before.
He wouldn't tell us unless like he thought it was over,
But it was 2 days before, and Matt's like, "Hey, hug your loved ones. You never know when they're gonna go." And I'm like,
right.
Matt, because immediately everyone goes, "Oh, who died?" And then the rest of it are like, "Fuck, we know." Shit. And then 2 days later, they got the obituary.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just... So why am I bringing up? Because a couple episodes ago, we talked about voice acting. We gave our brief update of where the current state of VO is, because we were in this very exciting time about remote recording, and now that feels threatened. But we said before, no, it's not. The opportunities are still there. But what I want to talk about, another pro tip besides having a wide range of opportunities, like not just focusing on anime, but the type of voice actor you should be. Billy is the voice actor you should be. Because before anyone ever brings up the roles he was in and the work that he did, he was always just that guy. No one ever had a bad thing to say about Billy. The fact that we are all so devastated about his passing is no one's even worried about the roles, the shoes that he has left to fill. It's the fact that Billy was just that guy who was always there. I didn't know him personally, but lots of people that I know knew him very well. He was there. Basically, he was like the mayor of the frickin' Burbank, LA scene. When you move there, you're brand new and you move there, Billy was the one putting your booth together. Alright, he was there, he was always humble, he was just the nicest motherfucker. And so, take a pro tip from Billy's page, man. Just be the nicest guy.
Be a good human.
Be supportive.
Lift your coworkers up, man. Don't try and be a competitive asshole and bring other people down. Like, there's room for everyone in the community. Make that real for everyone.
And that was the principle that Billy always went under. He was so supportive of everyone. Like I said, he was freaking putting people's booths together. He was welcoming people in town. He was fucking awesome.
Friendly neighborhood Billy, man.
No, it's really a shame. I mean, I'm gonna miss his voice work a lot because he was a lot more people than like you'd think. Like obviously Ferdinand, I immediately knew that.
From Cells at Work.
Josuke.
He was Josuke, yeah.
Absolute Josuke, his absolute like
he was in Pro Mode.
Most renowned. Yeah, he was Gallo.
He was Gallo.
Yeah. I never watched Promare. Didn't watch it honestly.
I watched both. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it.
I'll be honest with you. Trigger, since Kill la Kill, I've not been like into a single
I agree. Trigger is a shadow of its former self, but I would say everyone watched the Star Wars Visions short that they did.
Oh hell yeah.
The two Jedi, the twins. That is classic Trigger.
Oh no, yeah, that was actually fucking fun.
Yeah, but otherwise, yes, Trigger has kind of been like a back. They've been kind of like acting like a backup studio. They're kind of like covering other people's bases, and then when they do something. Stylistically, like, the last notable series they had was BNA, Brand New Animal, which had a really strong pilot, but then proceeds to be kind of mid. I hate to use that word, but that's what the kids are saying.
I mean, man, if it's mid, it's mid. Just like,
yeah, if it's mid, it's mid.
It's cool.
But yeah, rest in peace, Billy. Man, we fucking love you.
I'm curious about, like, what breadth of work he has done that hasn't released yet.
Yes.
The latest role on BTVA that we have so far, his latest role on here is Jerome Lazenby, I believe that's how you say it, in Triangle Strategy.
Yeah, so I would assume video games. I think Billy was.
Yeah.
I think when Billy was really at it, he was at video games. So I guess I wouldn't be surprised if you're hearing him 3 years from now in something.
That's the crazy thing about voiceovers. Yeah, like
Those NDAs, man.
Yeah, those NDAs, and frankly, it surprises people. I'm still waiting on loads of things to come out that I've voiced in.
Yep.
And
that's the game.
And it's yeah, it is. You gotta like keep it quiet, keep it hush. It's quite nice though. He is like #1 trending this week on BTVA.
I'm sure.
Of course.
But for real, rest in peace, Billy. Let the voice of love take you higher.
Hell yeah. Next on our news slot. So we were speculating about a Doctor one-shot on the way. And they still have not given us the details because we weren't sure if it was to be related to the Ryuusui OVA, but it's now confirmed to be a new Dr. Stone one-shot by Inagaki. So we're assuming it comes out in July next month.
Okay.
So we're getting some new Dr. Stone content. Sweet. Followed by the Ryuusui OVA. We know this special has been on the way for a while. We just didn't know if it was like a 10-minute short or something. But according to announcements now, it is a full-on OVA. We still don't know the length. We know it's at least a half hour. It might be longer because it seems that they're going to dedicate this entirely to the New Japan domestication arc, which is the arc where they resurrect Ryuusui and they build an oil economy. Mm-hmm. An economy based on the promise of oil, which I think is hilarious. One of my
you brought this up to me.
It's one of my favorite arcs.
You brought this up to me like on the break, I remember, and I think we can both agree, Ivan. Isn't this what they should have done with the student? What was it? The arc, the Endeavor Agency arc. This
is what they should have done with the Endeavor Agency arc in My Hero Academia.
I am surprised that Bones actually still make like these weird, non-canon, in my opinion, waste of time OVAs.
Because basically they have an episode order that they need to fulfill, and they have deals. And it's all deals. Like they have a contract, and Toho goes, "You have to make this much. You decide what that is." And they go, "Oh fuck, we're not really writers. We're gonna bring someone in who's writing for like freaking pop idols and shit, and you're gonna fucking give us an OVA and and it's gonna be about." Endeavor visits the dentist, and then they recap about season 2. back when the anime was good. But yeah, those two OVAs are there's one where they're fighting a silly villain during the Endeavor Agency arc, and then the second OVA is a baseball filler, which I'm not gonna complain. Baseball filler in Shonen's always funny.
Yeah,
I love
guess
it.
That's
a guilty
fair.
pleasure. Guilty pleasure.
I just don't like filler in general.
No, the only baseball thing I can honestly remember really enjoying. Wait, there's a Rekka 7's football. Yeah, that counts. I enjoyed a Rekka 7's football one. Anyway,
if it's a sport, if it's just the characters play a sport that they
Champloo.
normally don't play, it counts.
Yeah. So Eureka 7, there's like an entire filler, a single episode of filler where the main character's all like, "I'm really fucking good at football. I can't wait to show my girlfriend," because they only get together halfway through the series, "how good I am at fucking football." But he's kind of shit compared to like some of them, and he's like a massive ball hog and being a shit, and he has to learn the meaning of teamwork.
Yeah, so
And
that's
his
why I like those.
girlfriend and him like assault a man.
I mean, what's better than any kind of anime that's not sports anime, and you put it into sports anime? Sports anime is incredible. So it's like it's peanut. So like the fact that you put a solid shonen, and then you thrust into sports. I mean, it's like peanut butter and jelly, baby. It's peanut butter and chocolate. All right.
Are you gonna watch Blue Lock when that comes out?
Now that's just a straight up sports anime, and I'll be honest, I'm not high on Blue Lock.
I like sports anime, but it's just like there's nothing about it that adds anything new for me that I can't find elsewhere.
Exactly. Like it was. The pilot is interesting. The pilot is interesting because it's the main character is tempted by the fact of basically there's a pressure to not be power of teamwork and not power of friendship. This is a cutthroat game he is thrown into.
Yeah.
People who don't know what Blue Lock is. In short, it's about all the best young soccer talent in the country of Japan are thrown into a prison, and they have to compete against each other in order to form Japan's next national soccer team to win the World Cup. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah. The pilot is fucking great. I say it's hilarious. It actually takes itself very seriously. The art is good, but it never everything is good in the pilot. But then everything after that really doesn't hold up. I know a lot of Blue Lock fans are going to fucking put me at the stake for that. But honestly, there's so much shonen out right now, and that one just
Blue Lock.
doesn't.
Watch Tomodachi Game instead.
Me and Steena, our guilty pleasure right now is Tomodachi Game.
I was gonna say, I literally see it every time, and I'm like, I bet Steena and I.
It looks so stupid. It looks so dumb. And I said, Steena, we will never get past episode 2. And
let's give it a chance.
And we are just hooked on it. It's the most basic death game you would think of, but it's so good at just locking your attention. It's just.
Well, it's all about breaking down the tropes of friendship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like that again. But
it's
yeah,
like an anti-power of friendship, but still power of friendship type thing.
like the guy.
It's so
yeah.
gay.
Yeah, and it gets very gay. But again, it's very baity though. It's very baity in every regard. Like it's the most seasonal fodder I can think of, but it's the best seasonal fodder has to offer.
And the manga is still running, so there's a chance we get more of it.
Yeah, if it does very well, and I think it's doing very well.
Yeah,
Back
I
to
was
sports
gonna say,
anime a
I
minute.
think so.
If gun to your head, if you were to watch a sports anime, what sport would it be about?
Don't fucking put a gun to my head. That's so rude.
That's
too late.
aggressive and toxic.
Gun to your head.
You
have
can't
to
have
answer the
guns on the
question.
train.
Yeah, but you can bring
You
can bring your sword.
You have a
You have a katana. That's not
Well,
fair.
yeah, because you can block a sword. You can't block a bullet, motherfucker.
Okay, but no, you
just haven't tried hard
So
enough.
Val, you ask what sports anime I want. My sports anime has already been made. It's Hajime no Ippo, the fighting.
Well, lucky you. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, so Steena, what are you waiting for, Steena?
I'm waiting on a good climbing anime, because Climbing Girls was fluff, you know?
It was seasonal fodder, but it
was
wasn't.
seasonal fodder. I want a good climbing anime. I don't
But you
want team
but
sports.
did you
I know
watch
Japan will
it?
never
Did you
do
watch
it.
all of Climbing Girls, Steena?
I watched the first, 3 episodes of Climbing Girls.
Okay,
Then we went back
I'm
to
gonna
watching
say, you said at the start, I wouldn't watch a sport. I'm like, you bitch, did you watch Climbing Girls,
I
Steena?
did
Answer.
love, Yuri on Ice. That's the only sports anime I think I've ever watched and
Okay,
enjoyed
that's good.
start to finish.
Yuri on Ice is another one of those
Solo
that has.
sports for me.
Yeah.
You know, I just like them.
Yuri on Ice has one of the greatest, like across televised media. I think Yuri on Ice is one of the greatest pilots of all time.
Yes.
And then it goes downhill from there. It just rides the momentum of a very strong pilot, and it ends at mid. It starts off phenomenal and ends on mid.
It ends at a
thought
point where
everyone
I'm
loved,
like,
I
you
thought
need
everyone
to
loved
fix
the gay
this for
kiss.
me. Well, the gay...
I thought everyone
the
everyone
gay
went mad
debated
over the gay kiss.
Like, we're still waiting on that movie. They never made that
Yeah,
movie.
they were supposed to do a movie. I'm like, if you're not giving us a second season,
think they
this
did
needs
make
a
the
movie
movie.
to
I
make
think
the
you
ending
just didn't hear-
satisfying.
It may have just
I'm
never
pretty
came out of
certain they
Japan.
did.
Wait, what?
They made an OVA. They made a quick, like, 5-minute short that was gay baity as fuck, but otherwise...
I need to know, because I can watch it.
Is it Yuri on Ice Adolescence?
Yuri on
Oh, you know what?
Ice.
They definitely announced something, didn't they? Because it was about young Yuri.
Oh, yeah! Yuri on Ice, the movie Adolescence.
Young
Is this
Victor.
gonna continue anything?
Yeah, it came out.
Because it was an origin story for Victor.
Yeah, so...
When did it come out?
Let's see... Not aired yet. It hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, so
Oh, okay,
so we'll
never
see in
mind.
another 3 years.
Yeah.
Never. No, fuck me then. I thought it came out.
No.
I could've
But
sworn
when
I
it
heard
gets
about
here,
it.
you know I'm gonna be
Yeah,
right
as
on
soon as
it.
you said adolescence, I'm like, oh yeah, it's Victor's origin story movie.
Yep.
I remember now. They
Yeah.
did. They had a trailer.
Steena. So you want rock climbing? Ivan,
Yeah.
what would you watch besides boxing?
Well, I was gonna say,
Because we know
I
how to
hate
make-
megaloboxing 1, but I love megaloboxing 2.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm aware. But
So what besides
if you
that?
had to watch a sport that wasn't
Boxing.
boxing, what would you watch?
Ah, fuck, because again, they gave me Ice Shield 21.
I like
tennis.
tennis, but my answer is cheating because it's just another form of fucking fighting. I'd go for fencing.
Fencing
How
would
is
be
there not a
cool.
fencing anime right now?
Yeah,
That
what
would be
the fuck?
There's a
that would be
fencing
so
manga.
cheap to make.
I don't think there's an anime.
But no, I have an answer though for you, because guess what? It's being made, motherfucker. The writer of Golden Kamui is making a hockey manga.
Oh, yeah!
That's right. Yeah,
I
yeah,
do be
yeah.
loving me
You
some
said
hockey.
that. I was like, of course, it's fucking hockey.
Yep.
That'd be sick.
You lived in Canada for a while, didn't you?
I didn't live in Canada, but I used to jump between there. Like when I was
We're
in
in
two
South Canada.
I
so
yeah, we basically I basically live in South Canada. I live in dirty Canada.
the Canada Annex.
Yeah. But I would go to actual Canada like on weekends when I was a kid. Like it's not far away. Like literally Steve and I went to the park the other day and we could literally see the coast of Canada from like across our beach.
Yep.
We're that
Can you
close
see
to Canada.
Earl? Is Earl waving at you from
No,
there?
I
No,
can
he's
see
in the
Earl from
Couve.
my South Canada corner of the world.
Yeah. See, Earl's in the Couve. We're in the freaking South Detroit, Windsor area. So we're closer. We're closer to
I
Toronto,
know. I miss Earl too.
Ontario. Yeah.
What other news do we have?
What other news do we have? A Trigun sequel?
Stampede!
So, congratulations! And everyone's about to start hating anime soon. We are now entering the era of the legacy sequels in anime. Isn't it exciting?
Yeah.
No more new anime. No more new manga. Let's
As
just
if we
make
weren't
sequels.
already completely screwed
Well,
Of
with
old stuff.
options.
we've been, yeah,
Like,
Steena is absolutely right. We've been there for a while. There is Sorcerer, Stabber, Orphan
Bastard.
remakes and shit.
Bastard in the making.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yes,
I don't
Bastard.
want that at
They
all.
just released the trailer.
I actually want Bastard because Bastard is like all heavy
Bleach
metal
coming
fucking
soon.
crazy shit.
New arc.
I don't give a shit about Bleach.
No one
You
gives a
know
shit
my
about Bleach.
opinion.
Even though people go, Bleach was the original Big Three. I'm like, who the fuck still talks about Bleach besides you, Val?
Who the fuck says Big Three anymore? No one says Big 3
I'm so
anymore.
tired of that.
They say Big Three all the time, and they always keep putting My Hero Academia in there. I'm
And
like,
there's
shut
always
the fuck up.
discourse about
Just because
you
you're
know.
right, doesn't mean it's a good thing. It means we're very bereft for options.
Just because you're right doesn't mean anyone gives a shit.
You know, all that matters is that One Piece is still there 20 years later.
Yep. There's no big
Pretty
three. There's a
much.
big one. Fuck off.
It's called One Piece.
Pretty. I mean, well, here's the annoying thing about the Big Three thing, because like the only thing we knew about in the West was Shonen Jump, pretty much. At least like normal people who weren't like, you know.
Yeah, but guess
deep
what, Val?
into
Because
looking up
people
all the old
still
shit.
only know about Shonen Jump. Our podcast primarily is about Shonen Jump.
Yeah. I
Because it's still the monopoly on the whole
Yeah.
thing.
I fucking let me go into goblin mode. I fucking hate when people just go, why aren't there any more manga about like people in college or adults? It's because you don't fucking read.
You don't read
You just
seinen,
Shonen Jump
motherfucker.
like a
Seinen.
normie.
Why
Ah.
aren't there more anime
Remove
about
the
magical
H.
girls though?
Oh shit.
They are. It's just that pop idol anime fucking like circumvented it.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say it's been dead since 2010.
Have you ever read I think it ended a little while ago, Magical Girl Apocalypse or something?
No, so here's okay. Quick sidetrack. I know we're getting a little off track here, but
It's
I'll be
fine.
quick.
We've always been. That's
so,
what this show in
so
general.
here's the
Yeah.
problem I have with quote
Steena,
unquote.
you edit our podcast. You
Yes,
should
yes,
know
I can-
how off track we get.
It's true. So
You're in it now.
here's my problem with modern so-called magical girl anime, starting with Magica Madoka onward. Magical girl
Okay.
anime in the shoujo capacity does not exist anymore, and here's why. It used to be stories by women for women about women empowerment and the struggles that girls typically go through. Modern Maho shoujo is written by a bunch of dudes who like gore and dark storylines, and maybe have only spoken to like 2 or 3 women in their life.
They want to subvert it. They want to
They want to subvert it.
They want to be meta. They want to be meta.
And they always subvert it by going violent. And I'm tired of it. Not because I have a problem with dark storylines, not because I have a problem with violence in anime, but because the genre has disappeared because it's been absorbed like everything else into shonen and seinen. And that bums me out. That bums me out because I think that shoujo offered something very special, and the market was erased essentially because women are willing to try things that are marketed to men, but there's not that overlap. And I think one of the places that this became most obvious to me recently was in Wonder Egg Priority, which, to be super fair, was the closest anything I think in recent times has come to the spirit of shoujo. It's just, it's still basically a shonen. Well, a seinen, my bad.
Trash. I mean, I got like
the end was trash. I liked the beginning. It had promise. I did finish it in one day. But yeah. It has a canonically trans man, so that's kind of neat and progressive for anime.
I guess.
Japan is finally entering the 21st century, so...
They're not, though. They've been gay baiting for years.
Hey, Naoko Takeuchi never gay baited. Those were full-on lesbians.
No.
But like they'll do in their media, but that's it. And then they...
Japan has weirdly always actually had words or better words for, like, you know, different genders and whatnot.
Oh yeah, like X-gender?
Like, yeah, they've had, like, you know, X-gender names and words for stuff. You know me, it's not exactly a priority on my list and stuff like that, but, like, I respect it.
Yeah. It's
but,
just
like,
interesting,
Yeah, no, it is. Have you ever watched, like, Precure, then? Because that's been going for, like, since...
I've watched some Precure.
2004.
Yeah.
Precure. Yeah, that's been, like, a fucking huge thing.
It's gotten a lot fluffier. I stopped at Glitter Force, so...
They make a new Precure every 2 years.
Yeah.
I just want them to bring back Full Moon, but that would be impossible because the story was too perfect and wrapped perfectly at the end. It's so beautiful, and no one's ever gonna watch it.
It's all single stories, isn't it? And then they move on to the next thing, don't
For
they?
Precure?
Like new writers. Yeah.
Kinda, sorta, yeah. It's a new team every season.
Okay, like, So, are there any, like, shoujo manga, like Sailor Moon stuff that we don't know about? Because I obviously know about Precure and stuff.
You need to read Full Muno Sagashite. Like, it is...
Oh, Sagashite.
So it's not a magical girl anime about fighting monsters. It's about this young girl, like, middle school age, who has throat cancer, but wants more than anything in the world to be a singer. And her grandma's, like, very controlling, so that's not an option normally. But then one day these 2 death spirits from the pediatrics ward show up, and they're like, yo, you have 1 year to live, but someone is trying to prevent your death. We're here to get in that person's way because your time is running out. But then she's like, okay, fine, I'll go with you with no fight, but you need to help me out and just let me try to become a singer. And the dude takes pity on her and he's like, fuck it, I'll use my magical powers to help you with that. And it's so tender, it's so just well constructed as a story, and it's very mature for being a shoujo. And I think that it got very overlooked just because there wasn't a whole team of pretty girls in different colored outfits to draw in, you know, what's the word? The merchandise.
Audience.
You know, there wasn't merchandise to go with it that was readily available.
Well, you know,
so
I will read this, Steena, purely because it's 7 volumes.
Yep, it's very short. The anime was like 52 episodes, but the manga, I think, tells the story a lot better. Yeah. No, I recently ordered the whole thing in Japanese for like reading practice, and I'm so excited to revisit it. It's been one of my favorites literally my entire life. Like, it was one of the things that got me into anime.
I will absolutely take a look at it then.
Hell yeah. Anyway, so that was a tangent.
Anything else on the docket,
Yes,
Ivan?
an Astro Boy reboot was also announced, but what the hell does that mean?
You mean one that isn't Pluto?
That's what I was about to mention. I was like, they gave no details, although this is reboot. So I'm like, what, a movie? A manga? An anime? Who gives a fuck if it's not written by Naoki Urasawa? I don't care. They already did an Astro Boy reboot. It's called Pluto. Why don't they get that anime done?
Or it's called Astro Boy 2003, which that anime still, like, slaps animation-wise.
I bet. Otherwise,
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, the
how good
other
that
thing
looks.
was announced was I've been heralding on Saturday Morning Jump and a few times on this podcast. The team behind Ghost Rider Paradox is getting a one-shot for Jump Plus, the site they should have always been on from the beginning. So I am happy for them. It seems to be in development, so no details yet, but very happy. I can't wait to see what they come up with.
Hell yeah. Did you want to talk about Ruri Dragon?
Ruri Dragon?
Yeah.
Yes, so a brand new manga came out called Ruri Dragon, and the audiences go, hey Ivan, didn't another new manga come out called Aliens Area? Sure, but the fact that
It
we're
was
not
alright.
talking about it should tell you how we feel about it. Ruri Dragon.
He didn't like it because it's about police.
Yeah, and it's also really rushed and boring.
It's super rushed. I do
watch
agree
Men in
with
Black
that.
instead.
That's such a fucking good film. No, I'm gonna keep up with it. The second
Someone
chapter's
has
already
to.
out.
You're talking about
Yeah,
Ruri? I think it's
No, not Ruri Dragon. We're talking
I was
about
gonna say,
Aliens
you
Area.
broke my heart.
No,
I'm like,
no.
Okay.
We're talking about Aliens Area. So which I say, shit, I lost my train of thought.
Oh no.
Oh, I feel bad for Ayashimon fans because this is the one that kicked Ayashimon out. At first I didn't feel bad, but now I feel really bad because this is a terrible replacement.
I don't know. I still think that
I mean,
it's
I
like
ain't fucking
it
with
could
it.
still grow.
I didn't
from
like
here. It's early
Ayashimon,
days.
but I hate this even more. But let's stay on topic. Ruri Dragon. So this is, you know how I feel about slice of life, everyone. You're gonna put slice of life in my shonen? You're gonna put some peanut butter in my chocolate? Yes, please.
That sounds awful.
So Ruri Dragon is about a girl who just wakes up one day and she has horns. And she's like, damn, I got some pretty big horns. What the fuck? Hey mom, look at this, I got some horns. And
She's like, oh yeah, so you do.
and she's like, damn girl, you got some horns? Your father was a dragon, that might be it.
Yeah, BT dubs.
BT dubs, your father was a dragon, and she's like, oh,
Thanks for telling me, Mom.
wow, okay, that explains a lot. And then she goes to school, and the teacher's like,
You good?
you good, kid? And she's like, well, they don't hurt. And everyone's looking like, you got horns. You're like, yeah. And then they take pictures, and the teacher's like, oh wait, I want a selfie too. And then they get bored of it very quickly, as kids do. And then she just kind of has horns at school. And then she has fire breath. But then she has to go to the hospital because she has dragon horns and dragon fire, a real live wire, American dragon Jake Long.
Oh my fucking God.
She doesn't have a dragon throat, which I go, okay.
So she should be dead, logically.
Yeah, logically dead because holy fuck,
that's what I'm gonna
your
say.
throat
Don't
should be
think-
burnt.
Yeah.
Do not even think about her dragon throat, Ivan. She is in middle school.
Bro, come on. But no, like, what I really love about this fucking manga so far is that everyone just takes it in stride.
It's very natural. This is exactly
very
what would
Gen
happen.
Z.
This is what would happen.
It is,
This is
yeah.
what in schools
Yeah,
today.
pretty much.
If this happened when me and Steena were in school, we'd give her a bunch of freaking gay slurs and freaking
Oh,
bully
yeah.
her. But in Gen Z world, this is exactly how it would happen.
Everyone's like, oh,
I
that's
wouldn't
sick.
go that far. It's one of those things where it is literally just, well, I can't help it. It's just, I've got horns growing
Again,
out
but it's
there. I'm
very
supposed to do it.
Gen Z. This is very Zoomer and very natural, and I love it.
Yeah.
But me and Steena read this at the exact same time, and I was halfway through, and I turn and I go, this is annoying me. I said, nothing's happening. There's no conflict. I'm
Yeah.
getting very annoyed. But as it kept going, I'm like, okay, now it makes sense. So now it starts presenting, because when she has the fire breath, and it's like, okay, this is going to be a story of a girl learning to deal with the fact that she's got dragon powers and other dragon things, and she's
It's
gonna...
a sick fucking puberty metaphor.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It's turning red, but good.
Yeah, exactly. It's Japan's much better answer to turning red.
Yes.
Whoa. You didn't like turning
I
red.
fucking
didn't like
hated
it.
it.
No, see, I was
didn't
mid.
care much
I
about
call
it.
turning red
I
mid.
have deep resentment.
I really like the art direction of red, and I think it's very fun, but also I'm not the demographic, not because of the period stuff, because I'm in healthcare. Period shit doesn't bug me.
I'm just sick of the comp het stuff that always comes along with female coming of age stories. There's always some old person who's like, what do girls like? They like boys. And I'm like, yeah, girls like boys like girls, but why is that always the center of the fucking narrative, man?
Yeah, Steena hates Turning Red. I'm sick of it. I just find it exhausting, because again, it's just, the whole movie is just...
that they didn't...
The whole movie is just, boys. It's just screaming up, it's just hyperactive children screaming about boys, and I'm just like, yeah, same girl, but fucking, can we just... Take a breath.
Were you
breathe?
Angry at the lack of, conversation about 9/11?
Oh.
Well, first of all, absolutely. But no, it's just, I just feel like there's way more interesting shit
really
girls are doing at that age that no one talks about. Like, I don't know, for example, a family-friendly example. Girls fuck around with seances and shit. Like, that is a rite of passage during puberty, and no one has ever given me the seance in a coming-of-age movie that I deserve. So I'm very upset about that.
Yeah, just
for me, anything would have been better.
Yeah, so Ruri Dragon to me is just Turning Red's more chill cousin, and I really like it. It reminds me of Interviews with Monster Girls.
So our hope is that Ruri Dragon carries this momentum. I really like that the relationship with her mom, from the get, a lot of times I feel like you don't get much from mom in shonen ever.
Yes.
And this mom is a person. This mom, you immediately see her flaws. She's like, I didn't know how to talk to you, which I guess is common, but it's like,
so
you can tell that she's very vulnerable.
Yeah, and then she comes back. That's the part we forgot to mention. Is she's very matter of fact. That's why I started falling in love with this.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is annoying. Like, that should still be concerning for a parent. I understand we're trying to be chill, and that's great, but there needs to be some. I need just a little heartbeat. I need to see a pulse.
And she'd been waiting for it.
Yeah, and we got the pulse because she picks her up from school and she's wearing dirty hiking boots and she goes, I went and saw your father. I called off sick from work. I talked to your father. And I'm like,
she's a good mama.
I'm like, there's the pulse. There's the pulse I was looking for. It's not conflict, but it's a pulse, and that's all I need.
It's not the strongest hook, but I do want to read the next chapter regardless.
I have high hope. I'm like, please give me another Yatsubato. Give me another Tokudashi. Give me a fucking another Kotaro.
Yeah.
I want. Please give me an active shonen. I hope this thing goes the distance. I hope we are 100 chapters into this.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's fine, but I guarantee it's left enough room, like a comedy manga does or something, to be like a battle manga.
So which watch comes to mind?
She is literally Midoriya with dragon powers.
No, she's not Midoriya.
No,
she has personality.
Yes, she is.
She's got spunk and sass.
Midoriya had a personality.
No, he does not. No, he does not.
Little shit.
No, yes, he does. He did at the beginning.
So do not see.
He's just now
So here's the thing, because this happened on Twitter right now. There's a discourse on Twitter. No, I want you to talk, but I'm gonna set you up for something. So there's a discourse right now on Twitter. There's some controversy about Midoriya as a character, which I go, finally, now there is. And so I want you to describe Midoriya to me, but don't say Midoriya, don't say Deku. Just describe his qualities and his traits.
Analytic, nervous, studious, determined.
You've given the best fucking description for Deku. So these are the descriptions everyone gives me, because there was some controversy last week over my criticisms. And here's all the descriptions that I got for Midoriya. He has a strong sense of justice.
That's not okay.
They all should.
That's moral. Not.
He has admirable qualities. He's very nice.
That's not.
He's a hard worker.
He's polite as well. I missed that.
They don't say polite. They just go admirable qualities. Hard worker. Has a strong sense of justice. And I go, well, I wouldn't say Goku, but the average person's gonna say Goku, and I tell them they're wrong. Those are not basically the people who actively defend Midoriya. Don't even know how to fucking properly fucking describe him. You were the closest. But my issue with Midoriya is the fact that he's not unique enough to be a protagonist. An interesting, proactive protagonist.
Well, how is he flawed is the question. I know he's kind of a
He's reckless. He's reckless, which I go, well, so is Goku, so is Naruto, that's not unique enough.
Nothing sets him apart at this point, and at this point in Shonen's history, you need something to set him apart.
But we talked about this during our shipping stream, where I said after over 300 chapters, Midoriya finally did something that set him apart. And that was, he sat there and talked to Ochako about the fact that he wants to give villains like Toga a chance. He recognizes mental illness. He recognizes that people have very fucked up upbringings, and that they acknowledge that they are very lucky, that they are very privileged to be in a place where they had good supportive families, where they could go to the best school in the country and be heroes. And they go, well, if we have this, we should be going harder. I talk about that failure with Nagant, where he says, well, smile harder. And I like that he has now jumped on top of that and go, he doesn't acknowledge that he fucked that up, but he does have a solution now where he goes, he still doesn't have an answer because we need to be doing something differently. We can't punch these people and throw them in jail because that's not working. Look they're not in jail anymore.
You absolutely
they broke out of jail.
can with the My Hero Academia villains, though.
Yeah, but in this world. But I like that Midoriya is presenting those arguments. And if you want to defend Midoriya, I'm defending him right now as well now. That is how you need to describe Midoriya, because every other quality makes him king of the cops, but he does this one thing. He still doesn't have an answer, and I hope he finds it at the end of the series, because that's the last string of hope I have for this series, that he finds a way. Where he goes, I've got to find a different system. I need to find some rehabilitative way. I need to stick up my hand and say, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help these villains be better. And I hope it isn't just victimizing Shigaraki. I hope he does this for Toga and all these fuckers.
They're absolutely going to victimize.
They are. We've had this conversation a million times, and we're not going to have it again, but this is what's happening. But I want to talk about the fact that there are people who do Midoriya's shtick better than he does. Going on to My Hero Academia 356. First of all, Endeavor going sicko crazy this chapter.
Oh, that was actually sick. That was his fucking United States of Smash moment.
That was. It's not as great as that moment because, again, All For One is a troll now, and he's not as interesting to punch. But
I agree.
Endeavor lost an arm. Did you see that?
Yes.
Which is another criticism I have about...
It was vague. I was certain he lost an arm, but I was like...
No, you see it. You see it go flying.
Go?
He's got a forearm. A forearm went flying.
Fucking sick. Did he, shield one of them? Hawk's shield. I think Hawk's might be dead.
Hawks definitely took a hit. I don't know. We won't see just yet.
I think he might be dead, actually.
Someone needs to die. I hate to be that guy, but someone needs to die because limbs go flying, and that seems to be all that happens. Midnight died off screen, which is that doesn't count. It sucks, but man, if you kill him off screen and we never fucking see, come on now. Really takes the weight out of it. If someone should die, I guess it should be Hawk because he's very complicit.
Can I just point out, by the way? I just want to say I've been thinking this the entire time. Can we just also? These chapters have been criminally short
because they're very action heavy.
They are very action.
They look very good.
It feels like 15. I don't know, 10 pages maybe.
He always does this though. Remember, he did this during the Overhaul arc. He did that during the War arc. It's always those very action heavy ones. They're always just seconds of combat.
It's for the time we've been waiting.
But now this one, yes, because of all the breaks, I agree.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna say it, but we both know what I'm about. We both know what I want to say, but if we say it, that's just it. The rest of the time will be allotted to that one thing. But the most recent chapter of That Thing was long, and it felt so fucking good, and I can't believe we've got to wait a month.
We're getting there, so stay on topic, because we have a rule now. We can't talk about That Thing until it's time to talk about That Thing, and we dig at the rest of the episode, but we're getting close.
Trust me, I want to talk about that thing, too.
Steena, if you hear, fart noises in the recording, it's because I've been stepping on, ice pack things.
It's because you have terrible gas. I got it.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. No.
Those ice packs should be melted by now. Anyways.
They are. They absolutely are. So
I want to keep on topic here. So Tokoyami fucking does a smash.
Oh, yeah.
And they was fucking sick.
We had two United fucking States of Smash Mode. Abyss, Black, Ephemeral, Ragnarok. Fucking sick.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Cool. It was so cool.
And Tokoyami is more interesting than Deku because he's a more specific character.
Look, in all fact, we've anyone in My Hero Academia at this point is more interesting than Deku because we've said it before. Deku has devoured the screen time for
he
a
devours
really long time.
like all of Midoriya's developments are things he's taken from other people. He's a black hole protagonist.
I don't know, I would say the Vigilante arc was a really good arc for Deku.
That was the best arc. That was the most interesting Deku ever was.
Yeah.
Because we've joked that Mountain Lady has more development than Deku does in the series. And it's because the one time Deku actually had a change in character was in Vigilantes. Or not in Vigilante, but the Vigilante Deku arc. But no, like, Endeavor, another better character. Endeavor's fucking sick. He's been carrying the post All Might world. In terms of characterization. He's been awesome. And this is his big moment now. It's just too bad the guy he's punching is a shell of his former self. He used to be cooler. Which we talked about last
this kind of
week.
gives me hope, actually. I want it. I actually want Endeavor to finish him off.
He should finish him off, because this is a guy that not only the characters in this series undermine, the active audience undermines, because he's not a Precious Simon role like bland vanilla Deku. So it's really cool that this guy fucking develops at his moment, and he literally talks about the fact that he reckons with his past self. And the fact that, and I like that he finally has come to a balance where he goes, nah, I'm still a negative motherfucker. I still curse my weakness. Yeah. And that's why I'm as strong as I am.
That was super cool. That shot of
but
him,
he acknowledges that his worst moves, the abuse of his family, the way his jealousy, he acknowledges that those are also weaknesses that he is now fighting against too. It's amazing.
No, that shot.
It's amazing.
That shot just before his big build up to the punch and everything. He's strangled his past self to death, and the flames are just erupting out of his back. He's got this amazing silhouette with his neck proper out looking to the left and shit. It looks fucking great. I love it. It was super cool.
Fucking awesome.
I just wanted more from this chapter. It just really, really feels like
they're very quick. They're very brief right now because that's how Horikoshi does his action stuff. They're very brief chapters.
Yeah, precisely. It's just I want more because we've been waiting a long time, and I don't know, maybe I've not got the vigilante I've not got the exhaustion like I have with Vigilante and everything, because this arc started. When did this arc start?
This arc started earlier this year.
Like January?
Maybe not, just a few months ago.
Like January or something?
Because remember, we were complaining about the post Vigilante arc with
Does anyone else forget we are 6 months into 2022 already?
Stop it.
Stop
it.
Steena.
So yeah, I think this arc actually began in the spring.
Yeah, no, maybe. It was a good chapter. Yeah, you're right. It's very action-packed and everything. By the way, we do have to acknowledge that some of these translations are greatly off. I did see someone really throw a fit about it.
We will correct ourselves on that. I can see nothing else but that translation error.
Yeah.
Yes, so the translation does bring up Stars and Stripes in New Order, and the official translation, they're like, no, his vestiges are turning against him, which is sick. That's what we want.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. So,
but that being said, speaking of My Hero Vigilantes, Steena has started reading Vigilantes. So tell us how much better it is than My Hero.
Oh wait, Ivan, before Steena starts that, wait. Berserk's coming back.
That's right. The last piece of news: Berserk is coming back.
Oh, fuck.
So this is what I want to say. They thought it's been about a year, right? They thought very long and hard about this. It's Mira's best friend and colleague, continuing it. Good on them. They thought very long and hard about this. I respect their decision. That being said, this is very difficult because me and a lot of fans had already made our peace that this was over. And that is something that needs to be considered. I'm glad they should make it. I'm glad who's involved, and they're going to continue it. That being said, everyone, fans, and I know the creators definitely already respect this, but fans, again, we talk about fan division, because this is here's something where we have the potential for some very toxic discourse. Please respect the fan base that mourned and made their peace with the fact that Berserk is now over. And they're not, and they're not saying, fuck these guys. They're not saying that. They are saying that in our hearts, this died with Kentaro. And we're done. And we're going to move on. We don't hate this. we're not engaging. We're not buying a new puppy at the pound just yet.
We're not buying our new.
Not saying that this
dog.
continuation is that equivalent, but that's how this feels. But Val, how do you feel about this?
Quite similar to you, actually. It's it's good. It's good. I'm happy, but I also was like, it might never finish. It probably won't finish the way he ever intended because it's debatable. It's up in the air.
Yeah.
If he even knew how to finish it, if that note is even
They
there.
say there were manuscripts, and I do believe they are, but I do not believe they're wholly finished. I'm also, as a writer, believe that things change on the go. Oda claims to have had an ending for One Piece 5 years into his run, but things change as they go. Even if the ending is still the same, the points to get there are very malleable. And so I feel like that if Kentaro had continued the Berserk, if Kentaro had been able to finish Berserk, how he would have finished it would be wildly different from the ending that we will eventually get from this new team.
Yeah, we'll never know. It's like
we will never truly know. I'm certain that the true ending is there, but how we get there, how it is reflected, there are subtleties to the main writer that we are never going to have again. And we're just not. And the context has now changed. That now, because Kentaro was very much Guts, now this is the equivalent of Guts dying and Casca picking up the pieces. This is where we're getting out. Like, that, the context has changed. The context will never be the same again.
Precisely.
And so that's why people are at peace that has ended.
Yeah, no, super
that being said, am I interested? Am I going to take a peek?
Fucking, yeah.
I'm so fucking
We're getting like 2 chapters this month, I think.
Am I going to support this? Abso-fucking-lutely I'm going to support this. I'm going to applaud everyone who continues this. Because I understood the difficult decision they made here. They did not make that decision lightly.
Took them a year, and it made sense. If they just came out of the woodwork and said, don't worry, it's going to get picked up, people would be raging. Like, you're going to fucking continue right after the man? Like, they'd be livid. It's super hard. It's a super hard situation to, like, figure out, I would say. But, Steena, thoughts on my hero.
Steena, talk about vigilantes.
Okay, yes. So the reason I got into it is because we were doing that tier list of ships.
Yeah,
for
we
my
did a
hero.
shipping tier list, Val, that you missed. We had to get you on the next tier list.
And
shit.
oh my God.
You are a girl.
Ship tiers.
Yeah.
You are a girl.
Well, listen.
It was fun. No, it was fun. Val, it was
I
fun.
didn't do this.
I
This
did.
is Ivy's idea.
I was the girl.
Go on then, tell me.
Yeah.
So
you
here's
know
the
better.
deal. Here's the deal. So there was
But if people are looking for that stream, it's on our Patreon. $1 a month, you can access to that. It was a fucking fun stream. You should be there. We're gonna do more in the future, so please keep locked to our YouTube channel. We're gonna do more fucking tier streams. But please go on with the vigilante.
Please.
Yeah. So basically there was a ship that was on there. I can't remember who they were shipping her with and who cares. She's all that matters.
It was Pop and Koichi.
And Koichi. Oh, okay. Yeah, so Pop and Koichi, so I guess, never mind, it does matter, because it's Koichi. But regardless, I was like, who the
Why
fuck
did
is
you
Pop?
ship Pop
And he's
with
like, oh, I'm not
Koichi?
surprised people don't know this.
No, we did.
We
no,
didn't. Someone else did.
No. It's the fact that we acknowledged every ship that we could. We discussed them.
Okay,
Val.
okay.
Yes.
We
it
gave
was
everyone.
discussion
We
and
gave
tiering.
everyone a fair
All right.
shake.
But anyway, I got into it because, Ivan's like, oh, Pop is exclusive to Vigilantes, and, she's pretty cool. She's one of the main characters.
She's
And
your
I was like,
avatar right
I've
now
never
on
heard of this
Discord.
person. Exactly. I looked her up, and I was like, this woman is the love of my life. So I was like, I love her design. Oh my god. So, first of all, I saw that and I was like, she's very cute. I want to know what her story is. Absolutely. And I hear you guys rave about it all the time on this pod. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'm not usually huge on in general, I don't read a ton of manga. I don't keep on it as much as you guys do. But it piqued my interest. So I started reading it, and yeah, this world's better than My Hero in my opinion, but that's really down to taste. I felt like it's interesting because One Piece I really love in spite of it being kind of goofy and almost childish at times. But My Hero just felt like too much of that for me. I don't really know how to explain it better than that, but the darker tone that Vigilantes takes on and the more mature themes just really appeal to me. So I've been working through that, but additionally, like, I just feel like these protagonists have a lot more substance to them. My hero is kind of shallow. It introduces a fuck ton of people right out the gate, and I'm like, I can't keep all these people straight.
Steena, describe Koichi as a protagonist. Without saying his name.
Okay.
Name his qualities.
Okay. I would say that he is altruistic. I would say that he has a lot of faith in humanity. More so than maybe anyone I've seen in a shonen thus far.
When you say you give more faith in him, the fact that he's almost too kind to the bad guys. He's
naive.
He's very naive. The fact that he probably has more in common with his villains than he does.
I would
other
actually
people.
say, to be honest, that Koichi has a lot of Midoriya's aspects of personality. He too, like Midoriya, is very studious. He's equally determined.
But he's a klutz.
Yeah, he's just
klutz.
generally
He's
clumsy.
a slacker. I would call him a slacker in terms of aspiration.
Yes.
He is content to play in the garbage and walk old ladies across the street. Midoriya, I want to be the #1 hero because All Might is cool. Koichi, All Might's cool, but I love the smell of trash.
In all fairness, actually, Midoriya's dream is never to be the #1 hero.
What? No.
He never claims that he wants to be the greatest hero.
In the beginning, because here's the thing. There's two things, Val. One, because he didn't have a quirk, so he was just content to be a hero. You are correct, but then he ends that pilot chapter saying, "Oh, by the way, this is the story of how I became the #1 hero."
Yeah, and then they literally corrected that. And
It's a retcon because people bitched.
Wait. To be fair, you can't actually apply that to Midoriya at that time.
Listen, I don't know shit about Midoriya. All I know is that Koichi is a selfless little angel.
Well, so is Midoriya.
Yeah.
Midoriya,
Define
breaks his arms.
And again,
Yeah.
y'all are much more acquainted with Midoriya at this point than I am.
And Koichi as
fair.
well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So remember, I'm coming from a perspective of someone who's only up to chapter 6.
Oh, no. I wasn't questioning
And
your,
who has
your
never
perspective of
read
him.
My Hero. I've watched some of the anime, but
I'm just trying to be fair, and I'm just saying you can't apply the future version of Midoriya saying, this is the story of how I became the greatest hero, which has since been retconned.
I still believe he's the #1 hero.
Midoriya wanted to just be a hero. That he's never been like, I'm gonna be #1. He's just, I'm gonna be a hero. Please continue, Steena.
yeah. So here's the thing. Like, regardless of whether there are traits that they share, I do think that definitely applies to Koichi. I think that he is. I mean, it almost feels too easy to say, but he's a lonely dude, man. Like, he's lonely.
Absolutely.
He's a little, like we described this before, he's a little Aspergery, where we're like,
Yeah.
he has difficulty.
Lacking social
He doesn't understand
cue
social
awareness.
skills, yeah.
Yes, and that's the big define. That's the thing that really makes Koichi very unique, because he trips. Again, we talk about how the fact that Koichi probably identifies more with his villains than most other people do. He identifies with villains more than he does heroes, because he stumbles, says the wrong thing, and people get mad at him.
Yeah, well, and he has a very rigid way of viewing social interactions where he's like, I have to do this because XYZ, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna have
also
older
the guy.
kids over, so I have to buy beer because that's the expectation, not because he necessarily wants to. But that aside, I don't know, again, and I don't know how this lines up with other protagonist, but I think that he's very innovative. He just seems to view things in a very interesting way. Like, contacts with the floor aside, like, he has that idea when those dudes are trying to attack Pop, where he's, like, planning out the fight in his head, which it doesn't quite go that way. But I thought it was really interesting to watch him strategize.
Because he's that is
clever, yes.
It's good because Midoriya studies and copies what other people do. Koichi makes up a plan
Improvises.
and then fucks up his own plan.
Yes.
He's clumsy.
He's very clever, he's just, he's clumsy. The execution is
I wouldn't
flawed.
even say he's clever. He's lucky.
Lucky?
I would
lucky
say-
and clumsy.
I would disagree. disagree. I would disagree with saying that he's not strategic
imaginative.
or innovative.
He can't freaking carry out his own plans.
But still,
Your 6 chapters in Steena, you will see the aspect of luck to him.
And again, he can be lucky, but to say that he is then also not clever, the plans in his head are still solid plans. Like, it's still something that is very interesting and very creative, regardless of what happens when he tries to
that's what I say. I
execute
wouldn't say he's strategic, but I say he is creative.
Sure. Maybe that's the right word.
I bet he's imaginative because he imagines these scenarios that he can win, and then he wins the wrong way, is what he does.
Yeah. See, and that's where the luck comes in. But
and that's what I like
he is
about
very
him.
creative.
I would say that's immediately a... So supposed to be counter to what Midoriya is, where in which, like, obviously Midoriya has the scene where he's, like, planning out how Bakugo will attack. It's a school bully and everything.
And Midoriya
like that.
actually carries out his own plans.
Yeah, but it also comes at sacrifice.
Yeah, and because Midoriya has one flaw. He's reckless.
Yeah,
and that's why I go, okay, there's your one flaw. Well, and I have to go now discern that from other shonen protagonists. Sorry, they're all reckless. Tanjiro, I mean, spoilers for fucking Demon Slayer, he's missing half his fucking face at the end.
The only difference is I feel like for Deku, it just doesn't pay off as often, that recklessness. But, again, and it's an actual weakness for him, whereas with Luffy, it's like, oh, I'm gonna do this crazy, stupid thing, and then it's gonna work, you know? And it just does.
I'm being Deku's advocate.
Yeah, Devil's Advocate, Deku's Advocate. No, someone has to be. It's a thankless job.
Someone has to be. But I would say Deku's type of recklessness is where he is completely aware of the consequences
it's the
of his
only
actions.
source. It's literally his only source of development. It's literally the only thing that he can be that this series has the balls to criticize him for, and it's the only thing I really appreciate the series for. Where the fact that they say, how can you fucking help someone from a hospital bed, you dipshit? I like that.
Yeah. Midoriya will literally maim himself so that he can bring solace to, like, a bickering father
But
and
again,
son.
but that's the thing, the fact that flaw is a problem in the series. Like, the fact that it's not very good at discerning him from other protagonists, but I do like how, within the series, it's a great point of contention for Midoriya. It's the fact that, congratulations, you broke every bone in your body to save someone. Now, what happens to the next person you save that you failed to save because you completely fucking destroyed yourself?
Well, I would say that's like any job. Like, if you work in construction,
And I like the fact that, well, what I hate about the fact is he tries to learn this, but every source of outside, like, ancillary content fails to ever acknowledge this again. Like World Heroes Mission, you didn't see it. But this rule where the next time Midoriya threw a punch, he wouldn't be able to punch again because he would blow his fucking arms up. He punches so many fucking people in that movie. And
I don't think it's that he can't, like, throw a punch. I think it's more he just can't throw a punch at a certain level.
And he does,
power.
but he does, though. And even in the manga, he still does. And they
It's
just,
probably
like...
because, I don't know why.
They just
because
gave it
punches. It's because punches are probably just better to draw in these things.
Again, it's like they don't give a fuck. They just don't fucking care, and that's fine. Again, and this is why shonen is garbage. No one really cares. Even the guy who makes it doesn't really give a fuck.
I don't think he does.
To an extent.
I'm gonna say,
no one could give less of a fuck than Toriyama. Is what I'm
really
saying.
don't think many of your issues with Midoriya are actually in his personality. I think you are just tired of him.
I was tired of him the day I met him.
Exactly, which is why I never pursued finishing MHA.
Koichi aged like a fine wine even after a 20-plus chapter final battle.
I would say go for it.
Because we learned things about him in the middle of it.
I would actually say, like, read My Hero Steena, but, like, it's up to you, obviously.
I've now seen Vigilantes. I don't need to.
Steena, would you like to have this filet mignon, or would you like this popcorn?
Yeah.
What would you like to have as your meal?
Okay, but
it's like, I would say an example.
Because popcorn's good, no, because that's how I describe My Hero, because popcorn's good, dude. Popcorn's good, but guess
popcorn.
what? Only one can satisfy your hunger.
Exactly. And that's how I feel about Koichi. I feel
Popcorn's
like
tasty. My Hero Academia is tasty, but Vigilantes feeds your soul.
I just feel like there's a complexity to him that
It's a substantial meal.
And I feel like, okay, here's what it is. I feel like they put the right protagonist in the right story. You know what I mean?
We've now discussed the fact that Vigilante should have been My Hero Academia, like from its principal concept. The fact that Midoriya should have been fucking schmuck on the street. He should never went to UA.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you think about Midoriya as a protagonist, I would still read Vigilantes if he were a protagonist. I feel like the story is great, but I also feel like the strength of it is that Koichi belongs in that story.
In his own story.
You can tell that this character has the most to learn from the environment he's been placed in. That is not clear to me for Midoriya and UA. That's, again, it's wish fulfillment.
That's another thing I want to talk about, environments, because that setting is really good. It's the block comedy of My Hero Academia. It's all in this one city block. And that city, Val and I have discussed this, that city block is a character. UA gets close to it, but at the end of the day, it's always a very... UA is a sanitized box, is what it is. That characters get to just jump around and destroy because there's robots to clean up their messes. Whereas that town, spoilers, Steena, but when Vigilantes ends, that city block gets destroyed, and they all have to move away. And it's sad.
Great.
It's like where Steena in One Piece, the Going Merry died.
Yeah.
And Steena got very fucking sad.
And
that city block dying isn't as sad, but you still feel pretty bad. You feel nostalgic for it. You have a little panging in your heart. You go, man, remember those good old days in that city block where we were picking up trash and breaking a bunch of fucking laws? A bunch of fucking criminal laws.
And a bunch of legs, yeah.
Breaking legs and laws.
My two favorite things to break.
Whereas UA is just this sanitized box that, well, we destroyed it this week, but then they cleaned it up.
Yeah, exactly. But additionally, and I know wish fulfillment is a very loaded term, but I do feel like when we talk about things to learn from a story, it's not clear to me from the get-go what kind of growth Midoriya needs that has to be gotten and will be gotten at UA.
But you said wish fulfillment. That's the reason why Midoriya is bland. He's the audience stand-in.
Because he's a fucking loser that gets the chance of a lifetime.
I wouldn't even call Midoriya a loser. I would just say
in the eyes of society as far as what he starts with.
Steena's right. In the eyes of society, Midoriya is absolutely a loser.
That's true. Okay, I'll stand by you.
To be fair, Koichi's a loser too, but here's the thing.
And Koichi, the year of Luigi, everyone.
Koichi doesn't just get the chance of a lifetime handed to him. Koichi has to fight and scrap.
I don't think he does get the chance of a lifetime.
No,
I think he gets roped up in some crazy shit that the average person would try to run away from.
Are you talking about Koichi or are you talking about Midoriya?
I'm talking about Koichi. Koichi getting wrapped up in
that's
with
what I'm saying. He didn't get that. Midoriya did.
Yeah.
Midoriya gets handed just like, oh, you don't have a quirk? Well, here you go.
Eat my
Whereas
hand.
Koichi is like, I have a shitty quirk. I need to learn how to use this in a creative
or
and interesting
I'm gonna
way.
fucking die because this fucking vigilante has
Stakes.
fucking put me under his fucking arm. And I'm like, I don't want to hang out with this guy. This guy makes me uncomfortable.
But he keeps making
But I can't say no because I'm fucking awkward.
So I gotta adapt.
In all fairness, even though more recent things have kind of made All Might's decision the best one, Midoriya did prove himself by being a weak, ineffective person who would throw himself into danger.
Who did what he was told.
We've had this discussion.
No, he didn't do what he was told. He didn't do what he was
I mean
told.
by All Might.
All Might literally told him, no, you can't be a hero. Fuck
he
you.
Said that, he
but
saw
then he
him
changed his
sacrifice
mind.
himself for Bakugo. I saw that shit, but here's the other thing. Here's the thing.
Okay.
Everything that he did from there was All Might saying, okay, you need to train, so you're gonna clean this beach. Okay, now I'm gonna give you my quirk. And now, it's just so much of Midoriya's stuff was handed to him. It's great that he had a good personality trait, but from there,
he actually had to
so
work
limited.
on the beach. That was the point where he had to build
but
himself up.
But he was told to.
He was told.
Yeah,
basically,
he was told to.
He was
but that's
handed
the point
instructions.
But that's the point. He's All Might is
which
his
bores
mentor.
me.
I talk about black hole protagonist. All of Midoriya's qualities are things that are given to him, and then he has to take that and he goes, and now that's mine now.
Yes.
That training regiment's mine now. Your power, that's mine now. Ida, your characterization, that's mine now.
Yep.
Bakugo, I'm gonna steal your movements. Ochako,
Well, that's
you can't be
not
Nami
Midoriya's
anymore.
fault
You're
as a
now my
character.
girlfriend.
That is
Right.
the incompetency of Horikoshi.
That I wouldn't even. I've said this before. It's not the incompetency of Horikoshi. That is just the blandness of his
Well, what
producers
about
and his
Ippo?
editors.
What about Ippo?
Ippo got bullied to shit. Ippo is a fucking mama's
Midoriya.
boy who fucking works on a
Midoriya.
ship, is traumatized by the death of his father and can't leave his ship until one day he meets Takamura, and Takamura says,
All Might.
punch this fucking shit.
Clean
and
this
he
beach.
punches it. No, but here's the difference though. Ippo already has the tools. Ippo is a fucking hermit who is trapped on his mother's fishing boat. He already is that strong, and Taka goes, bitch, you already have this. You have a fucking grit.
And
Get
All
the
Might
fuck out of here and
goes-
live your fucking
And All
life.
Might goes, you have the heart of a hero.
No, he doesn't. He goes,
Yes, he does.
He says,
Well,
you
no,
can't
he
be a
literally
hero.
does say that.
He does say you can't be a hero, but...
After
what-
Deku makes a choice, which is great, we need characters to make choices, but here's the thing. You don't get to make one choice, and then the rest of the story happens to you. You have to continue to make choices. We don't know how you're developing if you don't make fucking choices. And I don't see that very often.
The
from
story
him.
is
I just
literally
don't.
about students. It is in a school environment.
That doesn't matter. Students make choices. You make choices every day that affect the trajectory of your
Bakugo makes a lot of
Bakugo
choices,
makes more
and the
choices.
audience fucking hates him.
Yep, exactly.
We love him because he's
Bakugo
when he's
doesn't
correct.
make choices.
Substance.
I wouldn't go that far.
Explain.
Bakugo is
What
purely
decisions does
driven-
Bakugo not make?
Bakugo is purely driven by spite, and he
That's a
also does
motivation.
things
He's
that
inspired by
told.
All Might in a society that values strength and power. And Bakugo goes, I'm gonna be what society wants you to be. And then he gets mad because everyone starts getting angry at him. He goes, wait, why don't you like me? I'm being exactly what you want to be.
Best genius is Bakugo's All Might.
No, but he's better.
Yes.
But Best Genius is better. Midoriya,
No, the
Bakugo
difference
has a
is
better.
We don't actually see anyone train Bakugo because a lot of these characters, this is why you don't like Midoriya, are off in the background making decisions that we don't see or being told things that we don't see. Gunhead Man tells Ochako to learn fucking melee combat and whatnot. Tokoyami, Hawks, all of these characters have mentors who tell them what to do and how they can grow into the
But
hero
they
that
didn't give him
should
his
be.
power. They didn't hand him his fucking power. All Might has to teach Midoriya his power because he's like, if I
Hang on.
don't teach him how to use this, he's gonna fucking die.
No,
Yeah.
hang on. Here, I think the complaint on my end is being misunderstood.
I think we've all run into three different directions
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now,
yeah, yeah.
and we
Let's
need to
bring it
fucking
back.
we need to come back.
Here's my final word on the whole mentorship issue, right?
I've got no
one-
issues with Midoriya
no
being
one can-
mentored.
Hang on. No one can tell me what to do, right? I'm gonna take
Okay,
this
yeah.
to the real world so you guys can understand where I'm coming from.
All right.
You can try. You can try to tell me what to do. You
Hell
can
yeah.
try to instruct me. You
Amen.
can try to tell me the path I need to go on.
Solidarity, sister.
I can make the choice not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I can visibly make that choice. If he's buying into these choices his mentor is asking or recommending that he makes, that'd be one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, it's just All Might says do XYZ thing, and he's like, well, guess I gotta.
But
because
you need
reasons.
to consider this. Midoriya is like 3% of the population or something. And that's the entire point of the story. This is something that he needs to be met. It makes sense. If All Might gave him the power and then he said, run fucking wild with it, brother, would that be better?
No, because here's the thing. That's not what I'm talking about.
That's not what I mean.
I'm talking about the fact that Midoriya is now All Might's responsibility. But what my issue with Midoriya is the fact that everything. I'm going back to what I'm saying. Everything Midoriya gets is a hand-me-down.
Yes.
Because when All Might can't mentor Midoriya, who mentors Midoriya next? Torino. Which only gets it because that's All Might's old mentor. Literally everything Midoriya gets is a fucking
All
hand-me-down.
Might's old mentor was actually Nana.
Midoriya can never be his own man.
Yeah, but what might happen, the thing is, I have no idea, because Deku is so bland, what he would be without his mentor.
No, I agree he's bland. I agree he's rather bland.
Whereas I have a pretty good idea of what Bakugo would be without his mentor. I have a pretty good idea of the kind of person Ochako would be. Who the fuck?
Bakugo would be a
who the-
villain.
Which
that's
is
the
more
thing.
interesting. Which is more
Which
interesting.
is way more interesting. But with
No, I
Midoriya,
agree.
it's like, it's
I
just
agree.
not evident. It's not evident because we don't know. We know fuck all about him as a person because his choices aren't choices.
But you could also argue that Midoriya also makes his own fighting style, for example.
That's fair, but what kind of person is he? I don't give a fuck about his fighting style.
He's polite, and it's even like
Gross.
translating it. Like, for example, there's like a
There you go.
fight
You're
with,
describing it like those other bits. We're going back to the early part of this podcast. You're describing pretty generalized qualities.
He's compliant. Like, you're describing
I want to hear something specific about Midoriya that you can't say about any other protagonist.
He's compliant. He's polite. He's
seen but not heard.
He's breedable.
Submissive and breedable. That's what I want from Midoriya. I want a quality that you can't describe any, like, compared to any shonen protagonist. And the one thing that I think Midoriya's got is the fact that it's the analytical thing. But unfortunately, like I said before, we've had this discussion before where even Midoriya's most unique best trait is never fully explored. They do it in the sports festival, and then they drop it.
Because I would love that.
I miss self-doubt.
But it's never fully explored. It goes from, I gotta learn how to fucking crack this code, turns into, now I have 7 quirks, and now I gotta make them all work together, because again, they are handed to me.
Mm-hmm.
All of my defenses
I liked Midoriya when he was struggling.
Are purely for an early series where we didn't have all this stuff where Midoriya, you are always meant to have all for one because it doesn't work with people with quirks. You're gonna be the last one. Like I said, a lot of the things that happened before that actually meant something, I feel, have been kind of shat on purely because we've got this, like, chosen one bullshit. I don't like it either. But I will argue, till I'm blue in the face, that at one point, he was an engaging protagonist, and his struggles were real. I understand the point about, like, you know...
I agree.
Perhaps.
I agree.
Yeah.
I understand the point about, like, you know, maybe he doesn't make enough choice, but the series is literally about being a student, and all of these characters now have fucking teachers.
You say it's about being a student. The last half of the series, we have had children conscripted into fucking wars.
I mean, like, how
it's about being a child soldier right now. Sorry.
All of the kids
in a
that
police
have,
state.
like, all the kids that have any, like, a mild amount of development through the series seem to have character that they look up to, or like Midnight, for example. Yaoyorozu has a particular attachment to Midnight. No, Mina. Mina has a particular attachment. Has a particular attachment to Midnight that we have not really seen in any other character since she died. Maybe that's just Mina's hill to die on because Horikoshi said, well, someone's got to die on that hill and, like, you know, come out for our lost thought. May she rest in fucking peace, her hoe ship.
I don't want to completely cut us off, but we're at an hour and a half. I know I have some stuff we'll be trimming, but I also know we have to talk about One Piece.
We fucking do. But
I know that's gonna
love
take
getting
a
it.
minute.
I just want to say, I love fucking getting into these arguments with you two. I agree with a lot of your points, but someone's got to someone has to, like, fucking fight for this.
No, I hear Val. I agree with your points too.
Someone has to challenge our unchecked hubris.
So again, dear fair audience, this is what critical discussion looks like. The fact that we all disagree and we agree, and it's fucking funny.
You press me against the wall while Steena works my body over, and you say, Val, I like a lot of the points you got. Thank you, Ivan.
I got my fucking katana, like, at the ready.
But yeah, so let's talk about something that's less controversial in our eyes, and that is One Piece, baby.
Hell
the thing we said we wouldn't talk about, but now we can because it's the end of the show. And now we can talk about One Piece.
I think we've actually gotten the real villain reveal, by the way. There is another woman in the starting, the intro page for One Piece Red. We have Uta, which is Shanks' daughter, and then we have this girl in black who looks like a fucking babe, like a grown-up Wednesday Addams in the One Piece style or some shit. And she's also got, I think we've got our real villain here.
Maybe. But yeah, so let's first start with the news. So that's the last piece of news, is the fact that One Piece, at the time that you see this episode, fair audience, is on hiatus because...
For a fucking month!
For a month, because One Piece, as we all surmised, is entering its final... The word is controversial.
Saga.
We say saga. It's controversial because people have to get angry. So this is what One Piece fans are arguing about right now, which I say, be happy that you're One Piece fans. You literally have the best fucking content. So who gives a fuck? Oda has never given anyone a straight answer unless it was in the fan Q&A. So it is simultaneously the last chapter, the last arc, the last saga. One Piece will end in one chapter when it comes back in 1 month. If it does, be happy. It obviously is not, so stop freaking the fuck out. Relax. You're not Dragon Ball fans.
But brothers, I understand.
Nakama!
It's worrisome.
Nakama! You call them
Thank
Nakama.
You. No. You two are my Nakama. These guys are brothers. One Piece brothers and I. Like,
Crewmates,
you know,
crewmates.
let's
Yes.
let us not like misuse the word Nakama. That's like more important.
You're very
That's true.
exclusive with it.
Yeah. I am
Well,
very
no, that's
exclusive
accurate.
to
Like,
the
that's
word
how it's
Nakama.
ought to be.
That's really
That's
is.
it. To be super fair, I'm the crunchiest weeb here, so I am always down to be a fucking snob about Japanese translation. So
That's fair.
I'll fall on that sword for sure.
So, in the newest chapter of One Piece, 1053, is that right? 1053.
Yep, 1053, baby.
1053. We finally get the reveal of the 4 Warlords of the Sea.
No,
because
you're
Kaido-
getting ahead of yourself. You're getting ahead of yourself.
Oh,
We
okay,
got the
okay,
3
you're right.
bounties. We got the bounties.
That's right, we did.
So,
Each-
Kid, Luffy,
Yep.
and Traffy all are 3 billion apiece.
Yes.
Zoro fans are fucking crying.
Oh god, you're right. Oh
Yeah,
man.
this is something I've always wanted to bring up on the podcast. Zoro fans, I love you. You do the Lord's work. You are the most delusional fans in all of anime, and you are harmless. You are wonderful. You are beautiful and lovely people, and I love you. These people want Zoro to do so many things he will never fucking do.
Just don't
and
put
never
them-
achieve.
Dude, just don't put them in front of Sanji fans.
Yeah, obviously. Because then the Sanji fans will go fucking nuts. But Zoro fans, they want... Every week there are spoilers. I always peek through the spoilers and they say, oh, Zoro's gonna do this. And I'm like... You've been doing this, like, I've only been a One Piece fan for a year now. You've been doing this for 25 years, and you're still doing this?
I feel like I remember when I was
You're
on
doing the
my
Lord's
fucking-
work. To be that unabashedly, that unapologetically, like, supportive of your stan, in a non-toxic way, because I don't see toxicity, unless they're fighting with Sanji fans, which I
Yeah.
agree. Because the Sanji fans bring it. They bring the
No!
toxicity.
No!
I say that as a Sanji fan. I
I just want to say, by the
But
way,
the Zoro fans are fucking delusional, and it's fucking hilarious and lovely, and I love it. I can't, more so than the actual things that happen in the manga, I can't wait to see what shit that Zoro fans make up every week about what Zoro's going to actually not do.
You mean like the King of Hell shit and stuff?
Yeah, the King of Hell, and Wano's lost son. And he's gonna be the one that killed Kaido.
Yeah, but I just want to point out, by the way, Jinbei already fucking good boy. Holy shit, I love him.
Jinbei's having a nice little snack.
Jinbei is like alone in the castle. There is a big fucking feast laid out for the Shogun and all of his friends. And they're like, please enjoy. None of them could be bothered to wait that long, except for Jinbei. He is just having a nice, relaxing time.
He's a gentleman.
with
He's a
all
gentleman.
the
He's the
fucking
wise sage
food.
of the group. I
I
love him.
I cannot
He's
wait.
finally showing his niche in the group, but I love this.
I legitimately cannot wait for more Jinbei content.
Yeah, they call him the helmsman, but to me, he's the diplomat of the group.
Yeah.
He's got the biggest brass balls. You need that in your diplomat, and I like him.
I'm annoyed. By the way, I'm annoyed. I want a definitive answer about Yamato. We did not get that this chapter.
Oh,
but I get
is
it.
he really gonna be on the crew?
Well, I'll be honest.